Praise, Minister Ice Praise, and special representatives from NCCF lifting prayers and representing the nation. Date Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Come expectant, come ready because your season of visibility has come.
All right. Yeah, good morning, distinguished professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen.
It's here again, the landmark interdenominational gathering of believers at Lagos. Let my gate be open.
Today, where we have a technical session, and before we move on, please, on behalf of the chairman of this chapter, we sincerely want to apologize for starting the program late. So we need to put some touches to some of our gadgets here. And thank you so much for accepting us. Yes, we welcome you to our technical session. Today, Friday, 14th November 2025. This is a Lagos State Public Service chapter. And we want to start the program now. Ladies and gentlemen, if the secretariat is ready, let's start the program where we have the opening formalities. We take the national anthem, we take the Ican anthem, and we also take the opening prayer, which is the third stanza of our national anthem. Secretariat, over to you, please. Can we be upstanding as we take the formalities? Thank you. All right, thank you. While we're still standing, let's take the opening prayer, the third stanza of our national anthem. Thank you. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen. Can we all say a resounding amen to that? Amen. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to welcome you to yet another technical session of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Lagos State Public Service Chapter, where we have our erudite facilitator, already in the house to speak to us on the future of accountant profession and what every public service accountant must know about sustainability accounting. You will all agree with me. Today is a special day for all of us in the Lagos State Public Service chapter, and of course, with the professor that we have in the house to speak to us, you can be rest assured that you get the best out of him. And of course, without wasting much of our time, let's start the program in earnest as we, of course, introduce to you the high table and the special guest that we have in our midst today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to welcome into our midst today the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Aruna Ma Yaya FCA, ably represented here today by our own, the immediate past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please put it together as we welcome Chief DCS Alaribe FCA, the chief storyteller. We welcome you into our midst. And of course, you can see that the love of the Institute is not small at all. We have the big wigs here together today. Thank you so much. We welcome you, our president. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we need to introduce to you the host of today. And we have the chairman of Ican Lagos State Public Service chapter in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Mrs. Suarau Deborah Oluwatoyin, FCA. You are welcome. All right, we also have in our midst the number one chartered accountant in Lagos State. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Accountant General, Permanent Secretary, Lagos State, Dr. Abiodun Muritala, FCA. You are welcome, sir. And of course, we also have in our midst Permanent Secretary, Office of Internal Audit, Mrs. Titi Lokpe Monsurat Alaka. We welcome you, ma. Seated closely to her, of course, another Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Mahmood Alao Tajuddin, FCA. You are welcome, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, we also have on the high table, of course, our erudite facilitator that will speak to the topic that we have today. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Professor Matthew Adeolu Abata. You are welcome to our midst, and we appreciate you. Thank you for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, we also have in our midst, not on the high table, but of course, the higher table down there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our directors in the house. Please put your hands together as we welcome Mrs. Adepeju Alao, FCA, Director, Monitoring and Investigation. We welcome you, ma. We also have in our midst Mrs. Shobawale Adedoyin, Director and HR STO. FCA, pardon me. All right, we welcome you, ma, and we thank you for coming. We also have in our midst Mr. Inyonda Olaraju Fatai, FCA. We welcome you. And of course, we also have the executives of the chapter. I have the pleasure to quickly introduce them to you so that we can begin the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome. But before I do that, let me also recognize our own Director of Finance to Dr. Aderemi Harris, FCA. You are welcome to our midst. Thanks for coming. Yes, talking about the executives of the Lagos State Public Service chapter, I have in the house Mr. Jimo Oboni, FCA, and that is the vice chairman of the chapter. You are welcome, sir. You can also put your hands together as we welcome the Secretary General of the chapter in person of Sir Ambali Abiodun Kabiru, FCA. You are welcome. We also have the treasurer of the chapter. Put your hands together as we welcome Mrs. Bakari Ajibola Morufat, FCA. You're welcome. Mrs. Abdullahi Raji Faintola Basirat, FCA, is the Assistant Secretary of the chapter. The Technical Secretary of the chapter, I have in the house Mrs. Okusoya Aina Oluwakemi, FCA. That's the Technical Secretary. Mrs. Akimbo Drojaye Odunayo Ayoyemi, FCA. She's also here, and that is the Social and Publicity Secretary. Of course, we also have in the house Mr. Alape Olufemi Abayomi, SCA. That's the official one. Then Mr. Tijani, thank you. Mr. Tijani Sadiq Abiodun, SCA. And we have, that is the ex-official 2. And ladies and gentlemen, we also need to tell you that we have our executive representative in the ESCO. In no particular order, I will introduce them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Mrs. Bodede Olushola, FCA, and that is the Swan representative of ICANN, Women of Integrity. All right, thank you so much. Yes, the executive representative, like I said, in no particular order, I have online now, Mr. Mujitaba Rufai Karunwi, FCA. We recognize you. Mr. Anima Quadri Oluwa Sheyi, representing the OSAG. Please put your hands together for him. Then we also Mrs. We have in the house Mrs. Ladipupo Balogun Intunu, representing the whole high here. We can see you. Welcome, ma. Then we also have Mrs. Dende Samuel, SCA, representing the STO. You are welcome. Representing the internal audit in the local government, we have Mrs. Olaitan Olajumoke, SCA. You are welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to quickly run through this. It's a must for us to introduce them. We also have our director in the house. Yes, sir. Mrs. Iyabo Fatishe, FCA. Fatishe, permit me, ma. Pardon me, what I have here is Tifashe. I'm sorry, ma. I stand corrected. FCA, please put your hands together for her again. We also have in the house Mr. Disu, FCA, the council treasurer. We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have another council treasurer, Mr. Moses Mofulewi, FCA. We welcome you and we recognize you dearly. And can you also help me to welcome Mr. Folorunsho Thomas, FCA. Thank you so much. You are welcome, sir. And that is Director FIS in STO. All right, because of want of time, we need to get started quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I need to also introduce myself to you. I'll be anchoring this program, driving this program, and ensure that we get to the safe land. My name is Oke Aminu Ayodele Oluniyi, FCA. Ayo, Baba Ayo. And of course, I'm the Financial Secretary of the ICANN, Lagos State Public Service Chapter. As we have our dignitaries join us, I will definitely introduce them to you. Yes, sir. All right. At this junction, we need to move on fast so that we can end in a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today at this technical section and with our professor in the house to speak to us on the theme, the future of accounting profession, what every public service accountant must know about sustainability accounting. But before we delve into that, we want to hand over the microphone to the chief host of today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to the podium Mrs. Suarau Deborah Oluwatoyin, FCA, as she gives her welcome address. Please, you can do better than that. Thank you.
The President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Haruna Mayahaya, PhD, MNI, ably represented by our own very beloved father, brother, chief storyteller of the Institute, worldwide, with the immediate past president of our noble institute, Chief Davidson Chiwike, the master storyteller, the PS Accountant General, Dr. Abiodun Muritala, the PS Ministry of Finance, Mr. Mahmoud Tajuddin, the PS Office of Internal Audit, Mrs. Monsurat Alaka, our own facility chief speaker for today, Professor Matthew Adolu Abata, the former head of departments of accounting, LASU, the former coordinator, DBA LASU, the vice chairman of the chapter, Mr. Nii Jimo, all directors here present, Dr. Harrison, Mrs. Alao, Mrs. Fatishi and others, and Mr. Thompson and others, all executive members of the noble yet most vibrant chapter of the Institute, my esteemed professional colleagues. I welcome you all to yet another edition of our technical session, which is themed The Future of Accounting Profession, What Every Public Service Accountant Must Know About Sustainability. The technical session is part of our annual program, and this is the first this year, and it takes place every year. I want us to also remember that this is still the week of our International Accounting Day week, which took off on Monday with the road walk, and we'll be rounding up today with the Culture Day. And in marking our own day, and in rounding up the International Accounting Week, we have decided to hold the session today. I hope that we would all listen, be attentive, take notes, and ask intelligent questions. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
My professional colleague in the house, please do it louder for the chairman of the Lagos State Public Service Chapter. Thank you so much. And that was the welcome address of the chairman. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, we quickly want to go to the next item on the program of events. And at this point, I want to respectfully invite to the podium President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Haruna Yaya, MNI, PhD, FCA, ably represented by our own Chief DCS Alaribe, FCA, to give his welcome address. Please, could we be upstanding for our ICAN President? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Please have your seat, have your seat, have your seat. The Accountant General of Lagos State, Dr. Muritala Abiodun, FCA, the Permanent Secretary, other men and women of iron and steel at the high table. The Master of Ceremony had already done the introduction. The professor who will be professing to us. Prof, you are welcome. My professional colleagues, let me not take much of our time. Good morning. In a morning mass, the Reverend Father does not preach much because people want to take communion and go back to work. That's how it. Yeah, because by the time we finish here, so many people will be going back to their offices. Even me, I had to come. I live in Second Lagos. I live in the redemption camp. So this morning, the officers, they are not aware, even though they've circularized this to me. I say, I won't tell them. Let me just get there. But when I get to the bridge, there was kind of whole confusion. People will cause confusion in Lagos without knowing what is happening. People were running back. Everybody, they were running back. All I did was to pack to be, God, don't compete with them. Somebody who is stooling and the one that is not stooling, you don't compete the number of times you go to toilet. So because I didn't know what was driving them, I had to leave the road completely so that let me find out what is happening. If it becomes so chaotic, I will jump down and run and leave the car instead of just going back without that still one way. So after about 15 minutes, the road cleared. I moved on. Even though there was a little bit of hold up towards Bega and all that. But it's not why people should start driving one way. But I say I must get to where I'm going to. So on behalf of the 61st president, he was supposed to be here. But Ican president knows where he is now. He doesn't know where he will be the next time. For that 365 days, he doesn't know. He knows where he is standing now, but he doesn't know where he is the next time. The man is on air now from Mexico. They are coming back. So they went for IFAC meeting, himself and the registrar. So that's how he'll be going from one place to the other. As he's landing, he has a program. It's an afamaco walk. So that's why it is for just 1 year. If you do Ican walk for 2 years, you should visit a psychiatric hospital. Yes, because your head will be turning after some time because you can't. As the president is coming now, he has other events. And on Sunday, we should be in Okitekpokwa. From there, he moved to other places. Some events, he will involve me. I say, no, I'm a retiring footballer. I only play half time. So anything they are doing, when after lunch, I will tell them I have to go. I have done mine. I joined Ican Council 31st of May, 2012. I'm still 70 now. But now what we do is like a retiring footballer. You play half time, maybe 15 minutes and go. So on behalf of the 61st president who has asked me to extend his greetings, he would have loved to be here, like I said, but due to assignments he could not assign. Do you know there are assignments you can't assign? You know? You don't know, sir. Oga Pamsek. Okay, sir. I will tell you, sir. He's a big man. Oga Pamsek, we were in a gathering. We were discussing something. I said that there are assignments that cannot be assigned. One woman, a professor, said, no, I'm a professor of management sciences. That there's no assignment that cannot be assigned, that I should give example. That I'm a chartered accountant, I may not know much. I said, okay, ma, let me give you an example. Say, ma, immediately after your wedding, you know you would have been busy preparing for the wedding, but immediately after the wedding, you'll be tired that evening. Can you ask your chief bridesmaid to kickstart the honeymoon on your behalf? She said, no. I said, madam, you can agree with me that there are assignments I cannot assign. Yes. So this is an assignment the president can't assign because so it has to be in Mexico. Ican is the #1 accountancy body in Africa, and that's where they did the election. So Madam Onome was also elected a board member. So we don't want to lose that lineage. Jaro Wama became a board member. He sat for 6 years. Zachary now took over. Madam Onome is taking over. That's representing Africa and Middle East. When IFAC was formed in 1977, Nigeria was one of the founding fathers. A Nigerian was a vice president. But they said they were paying so much money attending meeting. Nigeria dropped. It took time for us to get back again. The Nigerian man, Uwama, took over from a Ugandan. But now we say we will not leave that position. And we have about 6 members serving in the committees. And that's why we are being regarded and recognized in the whole of Africa. So that's what happened. The president would have been here, but he said I should encourage you. The Lagos State chapter has been is the leading public sector chapter. I have been attending their programs, even as a council member, even as a president, even as IPC, IPP, I continue. And if the Lord tarries, any event they are doing, they give me an invitation, I will attend. So please continue to be a leading light so that other chapters will learn from you. Oga Accountant General, you are welcome, sir. We have recognized you in a big league player, that your name is on FIFA website. You are welcome, sir. Thank you. So the Lagos State chapter should continue to organize these programs. Even I send this invitation to over 100 on the platform, and so many of them, they've taken jobs and they forwarded it to me as we are here. People want to learn. Even native doctors go for refresher courses. If not, don't worry, sir. You can't attend their lecture now. You don't know where they meet because you are not one of them. They won't take you to that place. There is if coming from Lagos, on Third Mainland, there was one building that they later, I think they've demolished it. They are reclaiming that place. There was one building before, it was not roofed. There was one building, it was a mud house. A mud house. One of my Oga told me that was where witches used to have meeting. Because it's not easily accessible. He said that's where they go and have their meeting. That if you know you can access it, come, they will admit you. So Oga, you can't attend their meeting because you don't know where they meet. So please, let's continue to train and retrain one another. Luckily, we have an erudite professor who is here. And we also have people like the Accountant General, the Permanent Secretary, the big madam here, so the chair, and all of you, the big organs here. Continue to learn. If you don't, I told Madam Chair that this sustainability, I went to Nairobi in January last year, studying this sustainability. I've also attended courses on sustainability more than 3 times. I'm a trainer. I've run so many courses. And you continue to learn. The difference between one native doctor and another is one root. Just the friend will tell you, just add this, squeeze it, and give to the person. When he takes it, headache will go. When the man puts it, when he comes back, they say, the man name will. Not knowing because he has so many things and he consults. If a female dog doesn't go out, it won't get pregnant. It will just be where it is. That's why you continue to move out from one place. Have a great day and happy lectures.
Well, please do better for the ICANN president, represented by the immediate past president of a great institute. You've heard it all from him. A female dog must not stay indoor. You must go out. And the difference between a native doctor and the other is one root. Are you also aware that the difference between a chartered accountant and the other is additional training? Like we are here to gain more knowledge today. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much, sir. We love you always. All right, at this point, we are moving on. I want to yield the floor to Dr. Abiodun Muritala, FCA, the Accountant General, Permanent Secretary, Lagos State, as he comes forward to give an overview of what we are here to do. Thank you so much, sir.
Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you so much. Thank you, our president, the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Haruna Yahya, FCA, ably represented by the immediate past president of our institute, my friend of many years. We're in school together, we wrote Ican together. Coincidentally, we qualified same time together. My friend DCS Alaribe, FCA. The Permanent Secretary, Office of Finance, Mr. Mahmoud Tajuddin, FCA. My aburo and my sister, I called her my colleague this morning. She said she's not my colleague. She's my organ. I said no seniority in PAMSEC, the Permanent Secretary, Office of OIA, Internal Audit. Mrs. Titi Lokwe Alaka, my teacher and my lecturer at LASU, the professor. We are proud of you, Professor Abata. Indeed, very, very proud. I know you, your pedigree, I know what you have made of. God bless you for coming around to come and impact in us. So I'm going to start today's discussion from where my president stopped at. And I have a quote that I'm going to read out. That quote is a quote that I say almost everywhere that I have opportunity to discuss about learning. The quote is from William Pollard, and it says, "Learning and innovation go hand in hand. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow." When I qualified over 30 years ago, 30-something years ago, the accounting that I learned then cannot suffice for today. Technology has changed everything. You can't then say that little knowledge that we had then will be sufficient for today. Impossible. Very, very, very impossible. I recall when Mr. Governor just became a governor of the state. And one man, we were together in LSDPC. And he went to him, I was there. The governor said, Mr. So, what do you want? I'm thinking of becoming a commissioner. The man now said, what qualification do you have? He said he has something on transport management. When did you have your degree? Almost 35 years ago. And he said he has his own first degree almost 40 years ago too. And then if he now says, with the changes in the transportation world, do you think he will be able to fit in? The man could not answer the question. That takes us to what our president have been saying. I have a small piece here that I'm going to read out to you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Lagos State Public Sector Chapter, technical session. The topic we are gathered to discuss is not just another trend. It is a fundamental shift in our profession. The future of the accounting profession, what every public service accountant must know about sustainability accounting. You will all agree with me that today we must recognize the fact that over 80% of the users of our financial statements are people who do not understand accounting. Our legislators, our regulators, the public, they do not understand accounting. So if we continue to do it the way we are doing it, who knows debit and credit? But how has that impacted anybody? Our FCA here too is not interested in that. We have a friend here. We call her FCA, friend of chartered accountant. She doesn't understand what we are saying. But what she's interested in is more something that is clear, that gives holistic picture of how we are managing all the Lagos State government resources. So hence, we then have to move away from our normal statement of financial position, statement of, what's it called, financial performance, all those one, move away, go to those things that explains what we are doing, that explain something that has impacted the system, that has explained how you have managed our climate, something that has explained how we will be able to get more sources of revenue. You know, for us in government, people who want to do, there are some people in the public that the only money they will give is when you invest that money in something that has to do with green economy. I must shock you that we are the first sub-national to go out there to raise a green bond. We went out to raise a green bond. It was oversubscribed by over 100%. The result came out this morning when I was coming down here. And it shows the fact that, we promote green economy. We promote what sustainability is talking about, environmental sustainability. We promote what social sustainability is doing. If you look at us in the state, when you look at we have this plan around insurance for all staff, health insurance for all staff. We do not do it in such a way that because permanent secretary, hey, AG, this man is AG, he's a big man, he should pay 100 million. It is what the service they give AG that they will give to his level 1 officer. That's what we promote when it comes to social sustainability. So we ensure that whatever we do cut across economic sustainability, we also promote it. So when we do all this, we want a situation where we do it the best. And so as for us as accountants, we then have to move away from what we do. If you look at our Lagos State Development Plan, it also promotes sustainability. For us, for me, when we want to do accounting, it starts from the beginning. Oh, you want to come up with Lagos State Development Plan. To be part of whatever you want to do. As accountant, you must be part of it. When they want KPIs, we are the one that will reduce this into Naira and Kobo, into report in the financial statement. And if you don't understand how you will interpret that, say for instance, said we want to reduce the number of people that, or we want to increase accessibility to public transportation. For us, it is not just saying accessibility. You know, non-accountant will just say it that way. But as accountant, we want to tell them that by what percentage? We want to do it by 50%. So that when we are writing our financial report at the end of the year, we're also then putting it across that way, that we're doing it that way. So when you are doing the budget, you must be part of it. So for me, when you are then writing your financial reporting at the end of the year, which is where we belong, we must ensure that all those parameters that have been set, we are able to then interpret it well in the financial statement. So I'm happy that my teacher is here. He's going to take you through it. I know he knows it better than I do. Please pay attention to it. I'm sure when you leave here, you won't be the same again. You are going to learn another knowledge that will definitely impact your life. Thank you so much for coming around, and God bless you all.
All right, thank you, sir. Please put your hands together for the Accountant General again. And that was apt for us. Thank you so much. Yet we are getting closer to the peak of this program. But before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is an hybrid section. We have many of our members online listening to us right now. And for our members online, we have this information for you, please. We were told that many still want to join, and as I speak with you, the Zoom is oversubscribed. Oversubscribed. So in that wise, thank you. In that wise, the chairman of the chapter has directed that we switch to YouTube now. So the link has been sent to the platform. If you are unable to connect with the Zoom platform, you can, of course, thank you, sir. Yes, like I said, you can, for our members online, if you cannot connect to the Zoom, please, the link to join us virtually via the YouTube, it's already shared on the platform. Thank you so much, and thank you. While the AG was speaking, we also recognize some of our leaders, so to say, directors, that has also joined us virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome on board Mrs. Bantefa Oluwatoyin, Director OIA. Please, you can do her the honors. We recognize you, ma. We also have Mrs. Shola Abiola Shobayo, FCA. We can see you. Oh, okay, you are even here. Thank you, ma. Then please put your hands together again as we also recognize Mr. Abidin Salaudin, FCA. That is the technical assistant to SA on audit. And ladies and gentlemen, we have in the house one of our past chairmen who has joined us today. I have the pleasure to welcome and introduce to you Mrs. Bola Odubore, FCA, past chairman, ICAN, Lagos State Public Service Chapter. And ma, I've been directed by the chairman that you please join the I table. All right, while she's coming, let's move on. At this point, I want to yield the microphone to our PS Finance, Mr. Mahmoud, FCA, to speak to us for the next 2 minutes. We hand over the mic to you, sir. Please put your hands together for him as he comes to the podium. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, I welcome you all to this Augustus occasion. Personally, I'm very proud to be here this morning. This is part of history making. And just like the AG said earlier on, I hope we are all going to listen to Professor Abata and what he has for us today, which is about sustenance accounting. And if you look at what we have currently going on, you see that some of us that qualified 30, 35 years ago, if we are not following the trends and we are not reading more, we will not even know what is going on in accounting. Every day, a lot of things. Accounting is a dynamic profession. Everything, a lot of it is going. We have IPSAS coming up and a lot of standard coming up too. Also, the same thing, IFRS, you see a lot of standard coming up. And some of the standard, if you are not conversant with it, or you didn't attend workshop, or you didn't read, you may become an obsolete accountant. So because of this, let us listen. If you listen very well, I know we are going to take something home, because we have a professor who is going to progress into our life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. And yes, at this point, Before I yield the microphone to Mrs. Alaka, let me use this opportunity to recognize another past chairman of our great chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we recognize Mr. Tairu Akim, FCA. You are welcome, sir. We can see you. All right, yes. Next to speak to us now, please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to yield the microphone to our PS OIA, Mrs. Alaka, FCA, to also speak to us today. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Yes, I will. Good morning, everyone. I want to stand on the already established protocol, but even in doing that, I want to recognize the ICANN president, Malam Aruna Mayaya, ably represented by our own past chairman, past president, immediate past chief, DCS Alarebe FCA. I also want to recognize the Accountant General in absentia, Dr. Abiodun Muritala, our chapter chairman, Mrs. Shuarao Deborah Oluwatoyin, my brother, Mr. Tajuddin Mahmood, PS, Ministry of Finance, and our professor today, our speaker, that's Professor Matthew Adeolu Abata, and all other members on the high table. I also want to recognize all directors seated here, especially my directors from my constituency, OIA. I'm honored to deliver this goodwill message this morning as a member of ICANN and as a member of this chapter. We are celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, and also this week is also a celebration of International Accountants Day. So I join every other person in congratulating the organizers of this technical session, because this is the best time we can have this session. The chosen team, the future of accounting profession, what every public service accountant must know about sustainability accounting. In this era, where government institutions are strengthening transparency, accountability, and prudency in resources management, the role of this sector, of public sector accountants, continues to expand and evolve. You agree with me that sustainability accounting as the next frontier in public financial management. It compels us to look beyond traditional financial reporting and look at and integrate key consideration around the environmental responsibility, social impact, and also climate resilience. For a progressive and fast developing state like Lagos, sustainability accounting will focus, for a progressive and fast developing state like Lagos, a hub of innovation, economic dynamism, and long-term development planning. Sustainability focused accountability, To remain relevant as accountant, we must continue to build capacity in emerging areas such as integrated reporting, ESG matrix, data analytics, public sector risk management, and digital auditing tools. So I commend the leadership and organizers of this technical session, especially our chairperson of this chapter and the ESCO member, for organizing this at the right time, bringing this course on sustainability accounting to a forefront to demonstrate a clear commitment to strengthen the public financial management and positioning Lagos State as a model of accountability and innovation within the Federation. I encourage all participants to engage fully, ask questions, and share insights, and make the most of this opportunity. The knowledge gained today will not only enhance your individual capacity, but also strengthen our collective ability to uphold the values of professionalism, the service we provide, and good governance within Lagos State and public service.
On behalf of myself and Office of OIA, I congratulate you and welcome you all to this session. Thank you very much.
All right, that was PS Mrs. Alaka. Please put your hands together for her again. As we say, thank you so much, ma. We love you dearly. All right, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are now a little close to giving the microphone to the facilitator. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I also need to quickly recognize past chairman, another past chairman that has joined us online, and that is Mr. Abdul Waliu Adekunle, FCA. I also want to let you know that we also have our professional colleagues from other districts joining us virtually. I have the pleasure to introduce to you the Vice Chairman of Ifa Koijaye and District Society, who has joined us, and that is Mr. Olofishawe Alaba Phillips, FCA. You are welcome, sir. We can see you. And as I was talking, we also have another past chairman who just walked in now. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor to introduce to you our past chairman in the Public Service Chapter, Mr. Lamidi Olabode, FCA. You are welcome, sir. We recognize you, sir. All right, at this point, if you are ready, I think the professor is ready. So in that wise, there should not be any distraction. Our colleague joining us online, please get your writing materials and be focused. Please, if you think your data cannot take you that extra length, you can quickly recharge and get more internet into your device as you welcome the professor. Ladies and gentlemen, before I allow the professor take the podium, may I have the permission of the chairman to read its citation? Thank you. Professor, thank you, sir. Professor Matthew Adeolu Abata, BSc, MSc, PhD, FCN, is a renowned scholar, an expert in corporate reporting and taxation at Lagos State University, LASU. He obtained his BSc and MSc degrees in accounting from the University of Lagos and earned his PhD in management finance from LASU in 2012. His commitment to academic excellence was further demonstrated through postdoctoral research fellowship at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa in 2025 to 2015 to 2017. He's currently a visiting professor at the African School of Economics, Calavi, Benin Republic. Before joining academia, Professor Abata gathered industry experience in private sector. At LASU, he has held several key academic leadership positions, including acting head of Department of Accounting 2028 to 2011 and substantive head of department in 2019 to 2012. He currently serves as the coordinator of the Doctor of Business Administration, DBA, and Doctor of Public Administration, DPA programs. With more than 25 years of teaching experience and research experience, he has published over 60 peer review articles and authored major textbooks, including Financial Accounting Theory and Practice, Principles of Tax Management in Nigeria, and Accounting for Special Ventures. He has supervised over 700 academic projects and theses including 7 completed PhD and 12 ongoing doctorate. So Abata had served as an external examiner to several Nigerian universities, including the University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, Mountaintop University, Crawford University. His academic influence extends internationally, having presented research at global conferences, including at Harvard University, Boston, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a fellow of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Matthew Abata, BSc, MSc, PhD, FCN, as he stepped to the podium to deliver its paper. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning to every one of you. You are much appreciated. Let me recognize the president of ICANN, through the representative, the accountant general in absentia, the directors, the permanent secretaries that are around, and eminent accountants that are online. You are much appreciated. I want to appreciate again the organizers of this program for the good work and counting me worthy to be here in your presence. Thank you very much. I'll appreciate you. Now, let me move to the business of the day. I want the slides projected, please. We want to look at what every public sector accountant must know about sustainability accounting. What every public sector accountant must know. Thank you very much. So it's not moving. Okay. Go down. Very much. We are looking at sustainability accounting, the evolving role of public sector accountants. We are looking at how we move from compliance to sustainable public finance and governance. And at the end of the day, we will all see that the role we are to play will not be limited to just managing numbers. We will understand and appreciate the fact that we are managing futures and we are the guardian of the future value. Then what is sustainability accounting? Sustainability accounting. It's a pragmatic, goal-driven, stakeholder engagement process that attempts to develop an organization-specific and differentiated set of tools for measuring and managing environmental, social, economic aspects as well as the link between them. Pragmatic. Pragmatic means sensible, reasonable, and realistic, that are practical. Then goal-driven means focus, advancing objectives. The stakeholder, we are all stakeholders. At the end of the day, sustainability impacts on all professions in the world. All of us, at one point or the other, we have what we need to contribute. And the essence is to measure and manage environmental, social, and economic aspect, governance aspect. And at the end of the day, we'll be looking at the indices, metrics of these environmental, social, and economic. But simply put, it talks about what the tradition taught us while we were growing up, telling us that whenever we want to eat, we should not eat with two hands. What are they telling us? They are telling us that don't walk towards today alone. Be thinking about tomorrow. So the essence of sustainability is to look at what we are doing in such a way that our attention will not be focused on this current generation alone. We should equally be thinking about what will happen to our future generations, our children that are yet unborn. So now look at sustainable public finance and governance. Sustainable public finance talks about managing public finances in such a way that meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. That presupposes that if we must be considering them, if we must think about them, then our emphasis will now bring up long-term fiscal stability that will promote inclusive, sustainable economic growth and will align with public spending with environmental and social objectives. Some of all these things that we are called upon to pay attention to and be reporting, they are not as if they were not in existence. But the fact is that we never reported them in our financial statements. We didn't pay attention onto them. And since they are factors too that impacts on all other areas, it means our reporting has not been complete because we've been neglecting them. They've not been shown on the accounts that we've been presenting. Now, let's look at some salient facts relating to sustainability that tells us that we have opportunity if we pay attention to them. Look at it. Now, ESG focused institutional investment now has soared so much to 84%, and we are now have there in, or is projected that in 2026, $33.9 trillion will have been attained there, making up 21.5% of assets under management. Now, employee turnover will be reduced by 50%, half in high ESG rated businesses. Now, 4 billion people by 2030, we have issues if care is not taken with water available to them. And hence, the water needs to be taken care of. The Accountant General mentioned some things about green bond issuance here. It has already passed 1.5 trillion figures. Then we have renewable energy. That's where everyone is running to. Where we are coming, we saw some of these vehicles now that are moving in Lagos, that are using other sources outside fuel, outside petrol, diesel. So the market by 2026 will reach $2.17 trillion. Then advantage is open out for companies and corporate establishments that are adhered to ESG or incorporate them. So that will be over $18 trillion. The circular economy, the market projected for 2027 will be 5.2 trillion. And the sources are all there. Then come to Nigeria and let us look at what do we have. Our Nigerian tax to GDP ratio, it's approximately 10.6%. That's what we have in statistics tell us, research tells us in Nigeria. And looking at it, it is below the global average of 13.9%, telling us that we are far away, we are far behind. Also, is below the average in the sub-Saharan African countries, that is around 16 to 18%. Is significantly below the OECD countries of 33.9%. Nigeria has the fourth lowest revenue GDP ratio in the whole world. In the whole world, meaning we are far behind. And if you look at the presentation up there, Nigerian, the revenues that we're having is low and extremely low year by year. The percentage of these revenue to the GDP is equally low. And if we look at it, 20 to 2014, 2015 to 2020, look at how it's moving. But we shouldn't forget some things, that with us, our population is growing day by day. Children are coming up day by day. And at each of this level, we have demands that must be met. Once a child comes, then there are demands. There is nothing you can do against them. You must meet those demands. Now, look at it declining. Look at it declining, the revenue relating to the GDP is falling. Now, revenue expenditure ratio from 1990 and projected to 2030, you look at the line, it's not rising, it's falling. The revenue to GDP ratio again, you look at it, the line in between is falling. Now, in all this and statistics that we have presented, what are the roles of accounting or accountants in the changing world? There are four basic factors that has transcended, that has influenced virtually all professions in the world. And what are these factors? One is the climate change. It cannot be denied again. Then resource scarcity, the social inequality, the rapid technological advancement. Those that spoke earlier made mention of knowledge acquired 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and how relevant would they be if we don't improve upon them. So with this, there is a shift now in the public expectation of the role of accountants, particularly in the public sector. Like the Accountant General mentioned, we are in the public sector. Those that we are dealing, commissioners are going to be appointed, ministers are going to be appointed. Most of them, they know nothing about the figure that we are talking about. But there is nothing that they can do without passing through us in one way or the other. And that is where we have the knowledge, the opportunity to make our input. Many of them are even resist to say, I am the one appointed by the government. But we know there is a clause that there is accountability. The law says there must be transparency. They might not want to listen, but what is important is for us to be re-echoing these things. And they must know that those that refused to listen in the past, many of the governors, they went to the prison. So many of the ministers went to prison. So by the time we kept on telling them that this is the right process, and this is what can take us out of this logjam. Accountants historically focus on financial compliance that will ensure that funds were accounted for, transparently reported, and used responsibly. But today, those roles are inadequate. We need to bring in governance priorities. Public accountants must embrace broader responsibilities. IFAC calls on the profession to embed transparency, ethical leadership, sustainable accountability into the core practices. ICAW urge accountants to go beyond compliance, integrate sustainability in long-term decisions making. Accountants must act. It's a must. Now, how do we meet these expectations? Expectations at the public sector is expanding. So what do we need to do? We must pay attention to these ESG. We must look at the metrics that provide holistic view of performance, complete view of performance. Our work, activities day in, day out must align with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And this requires us to understand how financial decisions will impact on our environment and social outcomes. I might need to mention some of these metrics, some of these areas. When we talk about environmental, it covers so many areas. We're talking about carbon emission, greenhouse emissions, energy consumptions, water use and water efficiency, waste generation, recycling, biodiversity, land use impact, pollution, environmental compliance, climate risk mitigation, and adaptation plans. All these are what we see every day, especially in Lagos State, that is central. And if you look at Lagos State, I think some weeks ago, there was this issue about some structures that impede the free flow of erosion. And yes, in some areas in Lagos State, if proper care has been taken, because some of them that were having those houses, I wouldn't know what they were saying. They said they got approval. Obviously, for you to erect the structure, you need to approval. But they might be right. They might have gotten a wrong one or fake one. But nobody expected them to get. And the governor was saying all of those structures will be pulled down. If we must be where we ought to be, they need to be pulled down. Emotions will not have a way. If they are not pulled down, then we are not planning for the future. As a matter of fact, many of them that are even there, they are at risk because anything can happen. The social indicators will see employees' health and safety, work diversity, workforce diversity, equity, inclusion, gender diversity. Then we have labor practices, the welfare, among others, human rights, child labor, community investment, supply chain responsibilities. Then we come to the governance, where attention needs to be paid to about the structures and composition and the structure in our respective offices. The politician does not want to hear that he needs 100 million today and you are telling him he cannot come out. But the rule says it has to go through process. And they will be telling you that I can talk to the bank manager, let him talk to the manager, but you have the right to insist on your own rule. Audit committee effectiveness, ethical behavior, risk management, shareholder rights and transparency, among others. We have all these as indicators that needs that call for our attention in all that we are doing as we come in contact with them. Sustainable budgeting, procurement, taxation, service delivery, they are all essential. And we play critical role as public sector accountants in virtually all of this. We must be able to evaluate long-term impact, consider our future generation, and ensure that these public funds generate inclusive and sustainable value. We now move to sustainable public finance. Sustainable public finance. It refers to ability of the government to maintain spending, taxation, and policy obligation in such a way that the well-being of the future generation will not be compromised. Whatever we don't pay attention to, there is no way we will value it. If we don't measure them, we will not be able to value them. And if we don't value them, we'll just be deceiving ourselves when bringing out the performance. It requires that if we must pay attention to future generation, then our planning must be careful, must be comprehensive. We must balance between the current fiscal demands and long-term fiscal stability. What we take now, what we are entitled to now, and what should be available to those that will come after we might have gone. We should ensure that states can continue to deliver the essential services in education, in healthcare, in housing, in infrastructure, without excessive debt and resource depletion. All these areas, they need attention. Taking care of all these areas warrants disbursement of money. And those disbursements come through you, through your table. It might be directly from a higher boss, but they pass through your table. They want to take critical decision. They need your own input. So you are the one to let them know that there will still be some others that will come after us. Public accountants are central in promoting sustainable public finance. They provide accurate forecasts, guiding expenditure planning, identify financial risk, and ensure fiscal discipline through internal controls and audit. The internal control measures are there, but the question of compliance, the question of enforcement is the issue. What did they say is internal control? They say it's a whole system of control, financial or otherwise, brought in by the management for compliance, for safeguarding assets, and at the end of the day to ensure that management objective or whatever is the objective of the enterprise or the corporate establishment is achieved. But for it to come to be fulfilled and accomplished, then you must stand your own ground on your field. If you don't stand your own ground, there will be so many compromises underneath, and at the end of the day, the world backfire. Because you know more of the implication when it comes to the financial data than others who are just giving comments outside the scope and the impact that it has in the future. Our work as public sector accountants reinforces accountability mechanisms that underpin democratic governance, that ensure that current resources that we use will align with intergenerational equity and resilience. What is intergenerational equity? It's a principle of fairness and justice that ensure that opportunities, resources, and burdens are shared between or across different generations. That we are not selfish in the way we take care of things. We should be thinking about those that are coming behind us. And when we have the consciousness of the growth rate of our population, knowing fully that the resources that we have today, that we don't manage well, that we don't channel towards developmental projects and infrastructure facilities, we work contrary or work against the future generation. We don't give them the privilege to enjoy what we have enjoyed. What am I talking about? Look at housing ordinarily. Some of us are involved or we belong to those ministries and agencies and departments. We don't have enough in the country. And the question again is, even those that are interested in having, they don't have the wherewithal. And government on its own does not have plan for all these things to take care of them. And those of us that are in the cities, if you think that those that are within your confines are having enough, you need to move into the interior, even some areas within Lagos State. You discover that where human beings are living, there are places you cannot show up. You cannot show to others that human beings are living there, and realistically, they are living there. If you go to some deep areas, when you go outside, you go through Bariga, you move inside, pass on this area, and you see those that are living by the waters, and those around them in Makoko, those in some areas, in Ojo, deep inside, you'll be wondering, are human beings really living here? But the truth is that it is your status, it is the level that creates the problem. Why? Because you as an individual have been so fortunate to rise above some level where you cannot be there. But those people must face reality. They were not as privileged as you were when they were young to go to school like you were privileged. Yes, not as if their parents were not interested in sending them, but they were not privileged. It would have been a different situation if by the time they were growing up, we were all given the same privilege, where the government would have been involved to assist all of us to go to those schools free of charge. So there couldn't have been any reason. They would have gone like we went to those schools, and we would have improved. If you go to some states in the north, secondary school, they give them the WAEC, they pay for their WAEC. How many of them, they beg them to come to school? Why? Because the government intervenes. And at the end of the day, when they come out of those schools, you discover them having edge over us, especially those of us that are from this side. Why? Because they are few over there. And when you come to apply the quota principles, it will obviously favor them. In your own town alone, in your own family, if you are 12, 11 of you are university graduates. In their own, if they are 12, only one of them is a university graduate. Why would they not have edge over us? They will always have it. But sustainability is talking about planning in such a way that the opportunities will be available to all of us. Okay, now taxation. Taxation remains one of the most powerful tools in promoting sustainability, sustainable public finance. It plays a crucial role because through effective tax policy and administration, government can generate necessary revenue. But the question is, at our level, how many are brought into the tax net? How many are paying? And how many are paying as we ought to pay? It's easy for the government to bring us into the tax net because we are working and we're earning from the government. So it is our balance that is credited to our respective accounts. If governments want to test us, even at this level with our knowledge, if they dare ask us to take 100% of our salaries and ask us to come back, forget about convenience principles, come back at 15, your tax is supposed to be 90,000 naira. 10% of us will not come. It is because they took the money ahead before releasing the balance. That's why they had access to us. So the other people who are self-employed, the issue is still with them. How do we get them into the tax net? And they flood everywhere. We all go to churches. We go to mosques. We talk about honesty and the fear of God. When it comes to money, there is no fear of God. Why? Because we don't declare what we earn. And that works against programs of the government because we are not sincere. But we need enlightenment to let us know. Many of us will say the government, when we pay the money, they don't, we don't know what they do. They just take the money, they share the money. Who told you? Me, I'm not aware because I don't have the facts. I've not been privileged to see them. They told us that in the northern side those days, that once they have the allocation, they will just come to the local government and sit down and share. Me, I didn't see them. But that's what they said. Yes, okay. My brother here is saying that he was there, he saw. And at the same time, I know they will have given him his own. Because there is no way they will share it in your presence and not give you something. So he collected for seeing. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so, but it's because of our level. And those things are working against us. For the fact that the money, they are not used judiciously. You see the level of backwardness as far as exposure and education in those areas. It has impacted. And that impact is negative. So in Nigeria, as we all know, we over-rely on oil revenue. Now, this has exposed us to fiscal vulnerabilities. Somebody was discussing yesterday, and he's saying that we should keep on praying if prayer will work. That at a particular time in life, that this fuel, this whatever they have, petroleum resources that we're having, they will be available, but there will not be demand for them. Yes, because if you can ride on your car that doesn't use fuel, then the petrol station will be there with the attendants. And since there is a platform for you to recharge, and you know that the cost is lesser, you will prefer that. So patriotism will not ask you to go and be wasting your money. So nobody will be there. That means we are expected to innovate and be thinking of a particular time when these things will not have as much value that it's having now. By embedding sustainability criteria into our tax incentives, by offering relief to renewable energy investment, or taxing carbon-intensive goods, public sector accountants can help reorientate fiscal policy towards long-term development goals. Now, the fiscal policy comprises the public spending and revenue decision. They are key to sustainable governance. They are key to sustainable governance. Like I mentioned earlier, most of those that are privileged to be there, they don't know anything about the management of the funds or the revenues that are available. What is important to them, or to average to them, is to cut away what is available. Public sector accountants, we must go beyond budgeting to influence strategic policy decisions that affects climate, inclusion, infrastructure, and education. We must prioritize investment that will bring long-term social and environmental returns. We must use tools like performance-based budgeting, climate budgeting, gender-responsive budgeting. And when we align fiscal strategies with global sustainability frameworks, we have already served as the architects of a resilient and equitable economic future. Resilience means provide the platform to be able to withstand when things don't go the way it ought to go. And at the same time, we'll be able to pick ourselves up. Now coming to reporting. We are expected to report all across, and our report must reflect environmental, social, and governance performance alongside the financial results that we've been publishing. And we need to use established framework like the Global Reporting Initiatives, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and the Integrated Reporting Frameworks. Now, as public sector accountants, we play a critical role. We coordinate the preparation of our reports at our ministries, at the departments, at our agencies, the accurate and reliability of non-financial disclosure, because all this that we are talking about sustainability and this ESG, they are non-financial. But we must work through them and be to incorporate them. Align government programs and policies with SDGs using materiality mapping, and bring in practices like the New Zealand Treasury adoption of well-being budgets. If some of us are from the local government and we're treasurers, if we ask us why planning, why budgeting, do we take into considerations the population of our environment? Most of us will say we don't. We just operate in most cases by just incremental approach. And at the end of the day, when we now look at impact that the execution of those budget has done, most people around the vicinity, they are not impacted. Only the smart ones that know how to play the politics very well or can maneuver their ways and manipulate their ways. South African National Treasury piloting integrated report for state-owned enterprises. These are some of the innovations. Sustainable budgeting. Budgeting that is not limited to the current dispensation or current or present generation. And that will integrate long-term environmental and social objectives into a public budgeting process. It may promote climate resilience and intergenerational equity. And the techniques that we use, green budgeting, gender responsive budgeting, performance-based budgeting. Accountants, public sector accountants, they must come in at forecasting stage, and they need to use the modern scenario modeling, environmental scenario modeling, tracking expenditure on climate-related programs, conducting audit to assess compliance with sustainability mandates. These things that we are looking at, many of us might be thinking, are we going to be given the rooms? Yes, we are going to be given the rooms. When the developed economy started, somebody was telling me that some of us have been privileged to be sent out to go and learn about sustainability accounting, sustainability practices. And at the end of the day, others will still go. So long as we have the will and we are willing to follow through, we will gradually impact on the minds and the will of those that are privileged to be in the executive offices. It is our own position that will gradually influence them, coupled with what is happening in the outside world. No nation wants to see, or no governmental executives wants to see the nation backward. Whatever we are seeing happening in the developed economy, they want to have a taste. So long as we are telling them that without taking these measures, you are backward, years backward, then they want to start if only we can insist and we are focused. Sustainable public procurement is the process of acquiring goods and services with full consideration for environmental and social impact throughout the life cycle. We are involved. All the supplies they are making to the government, even when they award them behind us, there is no way they will be paid without passing through us. And at one point or the other, when we rise at our level, we are involved even at the point at the board, at the tender board, where we can make our contribution with cognizance to the impact, the environmental and the social impact of all these goods or whatever that needs to be supplied. Public accountants will support by designing procurement frameworks, applying life cycle costing models, verifying vendors' compliance with the ESG in all that they need to supply unto us. Example include the Nigerian Public Procurement Act that could be revised to include green clauses. It must. There is no way. Kenya got their own in 2016, where they have the green economy strategy that emphasizes the use of eco-label products. Like I mentioned earlier, they are not, all these callings, they are not without challenges. Number one, a major problem that we have is the paucity of data. If anybody is asking us today, what is the population of Nigeria? We can say, people are telling us it is 237 million. The question is, when was the counting done? 2006. Yes, so the growth rate annually, they're not incorporated. They are just using that one to project. And obviously, we need all these ones to be able to accommodate them in our reporting system. Now, policy disconnect. Many of those that are privileged on the executive table, they are only interested in what will favor them or will project their name at a particular time. Those will be what they will be executing, not considering the long-term sustainability goals. But any opportunity that we have, we need to bring them to that level, that the impact of these things needs to be considered. Then we have a corrupt environment. We have corrupt environment, and we have attitudes or not challenge towards waste. Weak accountability mechanism will hinder effective budgeting, spending, and procurement. In most of all these corrupt practices, hardly will you see anyone that is successful without the cooperation of an accountant. Cooperation and collaboration of an accountant. They know that the day of reckoning it will come. Definitely they want to perfect those books. And since they do not have this knowledge, they will need you. Then the thing is, what will be your position when they call you? If all you after is to cooperate with them, all because of what they are going to give to you, we are indirectly selling the future of our future generations. Then, capacity issues. We don't have, but we build. If others have been privileged to go out and to go out for training, for conferences relating to sustainability activities, then we not only need to be trained, we need to retrain ourselves, then we need to equally pass the knowledge to those that are still around. Limited expertise, integrated and sustainable reporting among finance professionals. That is because Lagos, we have the population, we have the activities that are going on, and we don't have enough. And the government at one point or the other might be reluctant at employing others or pay those who are qualified to do it what they are demanding for. But we still have to manage it all the same because the challenge is not limited to Nigeria alone. But at the end of the day, if we make up our minds, we will overcome. What are we supposed to do now? To ensure sustainable future, public sector accountants must take proactive steps that extend beyond compliance. They must embrace sustainability principles in governance, government system and play a daily role in green transition. This thing that we are talking about covers virtually every area. I was privileged in 2016 to 2017, 2018 to go for postdoctoral fellowship in South Africa, Durban. And we all saw some things because many of the Nigerians, many of us there were Nigerian as at the time we made the observation. They called the place Varsity Road. And we discovered one day that tractors came and they were excavating a good road, no potholes at all. They were excavating the bitumen out. And we all came out asking them, what is the issue? They said that road, the bitumen, has expired. Gospel truth. That this year, they have to put another one, which they did while we were still there. They did. And those roads stayed for years. But they already had a plan that a particular year, this bitumen used here will have expired. 2019, before the COVID, I had privilege of being in Canada to do some things for some months. And I discovered that while moving from one city to the other, you will just see a government will have gone outside the city and they will have estates, structures erected, water, light available. Not 100 buildings across. They are there. Then we'll be asking them, who are those going to use those ones? They say, future generations. They started building, erecting for future generations. That means they had succeeded taking care of the current generations. And they were now planning for future generations yet unborn. We don't have that. And those are part of sustainability programs that should concern us. Now, championing environmental, social, and governance audits across ministries, departments, and agencies. We promote fiscal and procurement reforms through our own advocacy and through our own collaborations and technical support. They cannot do everything without recourse to our table. We must uphold intergenerational accountability by ensuring that fiscal decisions made today do not compromise the well-being of future generations. As we conclude, it's clear that sustainability is both a moral obligation and a professional imperative for public sector accountants. Our conscience must be working, and we must be sincere with conscience by thinking and looking at what would be the state of our own future generation. That is the essence of all this. We must not only act as stewards of public, but also as guardians of our future value. And whatever we don't measure, we cannot place value, because we are the one to place that value. Our contribution to green budgeting, ESG integration, and sustainable procurement will shape the resilience and equitable future societies. Look at our electricity. In South Africa, they are having a population of 65 million. And what they produce, I think I have the data here. What they produce, sorry please, South Africa, their the capacity installed is 58,095, but the gigawatt that is available to be used in the country for the 65 million population is 235,000. 235,000. In Egypt, they have the capacity of 5963. And the available is 209,000 gigawatts available. That means mostly, including all those villages, they are having electricity, they are having access to light. And the population is 118.4. In Nigeria, we have the megawatt capacity, installed capacity of 14,000 in Nigeria. Yes, but the gigawatt available for our consumption is 4,500. In the whole world, it is only in Nigeria that the installed capacity of megawatt is higher than those ones that is available. And researching into it, I was asking them. They said the major problem is that, one, the equipment, devices that they are using, they are aged. Yes. Meaning that in your street, even if we want to have light for a whole week without blinking, they cannot afford. How? If they release the light, those wires for the 24 hours multiplied by 7, they'll be burnt. They cannot withstand it consistently. And that is why we see that when they give it to us for 12 hours, they take it. And 1 hour, 2 hours, they will release it again. It's not as it is to take care of all those equipments. That's the essence. Then the other one is our grid. They are inefficient. Yes, the grid. From time to time, you'll be hearing something has happened to the grid. Something has happened to the grid. Are they not having the grid in Ghana? They're having it. In other nations that cannot be compared to ours, they're having it and they are maintaining them. So, we have much to do as public sector accountants by offering our best in ensuring that all these things are put in place and they are considered. They said my minutes is 5 minutes more, but they told me that I'm having 1.5 hours. So, chairman. Yes, so because I kept on asking, how many minutes do I have? They said one. Now they are calling me, Oga, please, so Oga. Now before we go, look at it. This, as we wrap up, we have this consideration. Ican has come out now to pay attention to sustainability. They already have a faculty. They call it sustainability faculty. And they are working. As a matter of fact, because I was coming, I spoke with them this morning. They already have that place set up to take care of sustainability activities and how they are going to be accommodated in our reporting system. That is a fantastic leading role that they are playing, for which all other institutes must follow suit. Yes. Now, in all this, it is to give us a better future in the nation. Now, this move by Ican aligns with Nigerian climate policy ambition, SDG targets, and quest for public value creation. Now, it's the thrust of the above is that ESG, by extension, sustainability cannot remain a corporate issue. In support of Ican position, sustainability become a national ethos embedded in governance structure. I am from the educational sector. Look at all the primary schools. Look at the facilities that are available. Why are your children go to private schools? They are going to the private schools because you are not having enough in the public schools. The proper attention are not being paid. I attended University of Lagos. When I was there, in my own year, 29 students were admitted by JAMB. We were 29 in the class. Yes, I'm telling you the gospel truth. And the lecturers that we met then, they were 13. So the whole year 1 to 4, they were not up to 160. And we're having 13 lecturers. Now, I'm from LASU. We have one single class having 500 students. Praise God. I'm telling you the truth. That's the truth. So in one single class, we are having students more than 500 in one single class. And the reality is, how do we teach them? Thank God for the school that is coming up now. The last lecture that I presented, that was on Tuesday. I went to the radio station. They've just evolved all this. So where we could teach, they will be recorded, and the students will be asked to link with us. By that hour that I'm there, they will be hearing me. Then immediately I finish, they will give me the recorded version. So I will send it to the platform of the students so they can listen and listen again. Then for those ones that are involved in calculation, there is another platform that has been set. Then for the Zoom, we have Zoom platform that can accommodate 2,000 that they have paid for. The truth is that it's not enough because one cannot take care of accounting department alone, let alone the school. So that means the school will still need more of all this. But the question is, research tells us that we need 38,000 PhD lecturers, PhD holders. Where are they? Yes, where are they? But we need them because the population is increasing at a faster rate. And we need to plan for the future. We are not having the halls. You go to LASU, they are not there. They are not even in Unilag, where you have a hall that will accommodate 1,500. There is none. Yes, these are federal establishments. They are not there. But we get to a level that when we have some faculty courses, students will be 3,000 that are offering the course. Because from 9, 10 other departments, they will come to borrow this course because it's compulsory for them. Then how do you disseminate? That's the issue. So that's why you are sending your children to Afe Babalola, Babcock University, Covenant Universities. Because in most of these universities, they are not allowed to take more than 100 in a single class. Yes, that's the standard. Only 100 will be allowed. So if there are 300, they will allocate them to different lecturers that will take them. But our emphasis will be for the government schools because you are privileged to be able to afford sending your children to these private universities. How about those that are home? They cannot afford it. Yes. So the salary you collect in 1 month, some whole family, they don't see it in 1 whole year. Praise God. That's the truth. They don't see it too. They don't see it. So that is why government will be more involved, and you need to be involved. Where is my slide, Oga? Hello? Yeah, my time, they've told me to continue. My time. So now, looking at it now, we now need to understand that we are not just managing numbers. We are managing futures. We are guardians of future value. We are all guardians of future value. If we are thinking about ourselves alone, do you know one thing? If you are riding on a brown new car in Lagos, there are some streets that you cannot live in. Am I communicating? You will deceive yourself. That car will not stay for 3 months. They will openly come and knock at your door. Those of us that are trekking in these other houses, so the moment they promote you or you are given that car, you will run out of that street. Give your house out to tenants so that at least you'll be safe and your family members will be safe. That is the situation. So we are guardians of future value. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that Professor has actually done justice to the topic of today, the future of accounting profession, what every public sector accountant needs to know about sustainability accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you indeed enjoy Professor, jam your hands together to celebrate and to appreciate Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, of course, you know that at the end of any technical session like this, of course, there will be Q&A. Of course, you have some questions that you want the professor to shed more light. You have time to do that. Both participants physically and those that are joining us virtually yet. And I assure you, we are not going to spend more time here again because we have to go to the mosque. Takbir. Takbir. Thank you so much. To start, please, my assistant, you need to work with the technicals there so that we can begin to pick questions from there. And of course, in the house, yes, I can see hands up. We definitely recognize you. And that is after I also let you know that while the professor was delivering his papers, we have some other people that join us here. Let me quickly let you meet them. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we also celebrate and welcome our council treasurer, Mr. Mujitaba Karonwi Rufai, FCA. Thank you so much. And again, we also have in the house ex-official, which I've also introduced the other time. Ladies and gentlemen, I were seated in my front here, Mr. Alakbe Abayomi Olufemi, FCA. And also ensuring that every participant gets their seats. Put your hands together as we also welcome Mr. Osefiana Adewale Andrew, FCA. Thank you so much. I also have in the house Director of Internal Audit, Mrs. Ganiu Mori-Liat. Thank you so much. You are welcome. And again, let me also use this opportunity to recognize another council treasurer, and of course, my own boss. Put your hands together. She's joining us online for Mrs. Yusuf Okunbekun, permit me, FCA. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it's question and answer. In the house, yes, I can see one hand up, another one here. Oh, Prof, your people enjoyed you. I can see that. Yes, even the chairman also wants to ask questions. But before I allow you here, I will also call the chairman. But let me see your hands. Oh, oh. Okay, let me start from here. You can step forward, please. You can step forward. Another person asking question. Hello, sir, Mr. Mujitaba. Mr. Mujitaba. Okay, you can step forward. Please step forward. You can come, sir. So we take you in turn. From this angle. Okay. And all right, that's fine. Okay. I think to take the first shot. To take the first shot. And again, we want to appreciate our past president. I can see. Somebody sometimes asks me, sir, why you always afraid of entering another person's house? Maybe you also have a dog. The first thing I do is, please, do you have dog here? And they say, the guy now look at me. But you have dog too. You train dog. I say, yes. I know the word of my dog. Definitely, I must know the word of this man's dog. I cannot just barge into his house. I have to ask. That too goes to tell me that our past president knows the words of professor. He's also a facilitator. You can see he refused to go. He knows that he will definitely get from our professor. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Ma, I think you need to take the fourth shot. Please put your hands together for, yes, our chairman, Mrs. Deborah Suarau, FCA. Thank you.
Thank you, my president, sir, for your time. Thank you, my erudite professor, sir. In the course of your lecture, you made mention of sustainable budgeting, and you said something around scenario modeling. I didn't get it, but I know that this is about the time of the year where we start to prepare the budget for the next year. What would be your advice to all in starting to incorporate sustainability into our budgeting process? I think that is my first question, sir. And then my second question is, we all as accountants are used to numbers, preparing financials. Now, there is not a shift, sir. I want to believe it's an integration. I don't think we're going to, I want to know, we won't abandon the financials and numbers, but I want to believe that we have to start to incorporate sustainability reporting into the financial reporting. And in doing this, we're looking at ESG, environmental social governance indicators as measured by GRI. Sir, how are we going to be, is it going to be in form of a report, qualitative as against quantitative, or are we going to reduce the ESG impact into figures and then incorporate them into our financial statement? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Professor, I think you need to harvest all the questions so that you can throw them together. Abi? Oh, okay. What do you say? All right. Okay, let's move to this side as we take, yes. You tell us your name and your membership number and ask your question straight.
My name is Adebayo Abiade Julius, membership number 04033. My question is on sustainable public finance. And I want to ask the question from the perspective of public borrowing. The latest report from the federal DMO suggests that, the subnationals have reduced their public borrowing, but at that of federal level remains unabated. Now, based on the paper delivered now, can we really say looking at other economic indices at federal level, can we really say the public borrowing at national level is sustainable? Then there is the other aspect to it, which is mistrust between the government and the governed. What role do you think we accountants or every one of us who are in finance, what role are we going to play to reduce this mistrust and looking at it from the other side of borrowing that has remained unabated? Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sirs. My chairman, my professor. My question is regarding my name is Rufai Mujtaba Karonwi, membership number 019799 FCA. My question is regarding the sustainable impact of sustainability on accounting profession. We all know that decision making at that level does not only involve the accountants, also involves the critical stakeholders that are majorly the elected officers, the politicians within the decision table. And in this regard, most of the time, they have the mandate of the people, which give them the overwhelming power to give overall judgments on decisions that are going to be taken. Now, accountants are being exposed to not only be a reporting accountant, but to provide long-term solutions to problems that are even qualitative and advise on long-term decision-making process. How do we align the long-term perspective at which accountants will be looking at their functions with the short-term perspective of 4-term or second term of 8 years that politicians are bringing on board? Thank you, sir.
My name is Awal Omotayo, 058676 MB. My prof, how do we align between scarce resources, waste, and sustainability? If I should drill down to Canada economy, building houses for yet unborn generation, are we sure the houses will not be dilapidated by the time the unborn children will grow to occupy those houses? And I want to, by and large, I want to think, or I want to ask, is that not what Nigeria is thinking or preventing against, such that let us manage what we have for this, and when the unborn generation come, whatever resources they meet, they build whatever it is good for them. Number 2, this is a take home. Please allow the prof to listen. Prof, I have a student in your school, Lagos State University. It has, I think it has, or it is becoming a norm that when the examination is approaching, they find one thing or the other to raise money. Yes, yes, such that it will be attached. So if you don't do this, you will not register for that examination. You will not write the examination. So the student, there was a time I told my child that why not carry a placard, but I know it is dangerous for him. It's not sustainable. Last but one, I want to endorse the executive to get off the soft copy of this thing.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salahuddin Abidin Olalikon, with membership number 037545. I want to ask, and it's about putting it to a professor, that do you really think Nigeria as a country should be looking at sustainability, where the vast majority of the resources we have now and the population we have, just like those examples you cited, is not even enough to take care of the current people we have in the country? And we're here talking about sustainability. It is just an head up. It is just an head up. Now, coming back to what it is the requirement of the sustainability accounting that we need to know as regards public sector accountants. I want to tell you that there are a lot of impediments that we public sector accountants have, and that is having to work strictly by our rules. You know, we have the constitutions, we have the financial regulations, and other extant laws. And we talk of a lot of alignment here. And one of them is the accountant, the public sector accountant, even having to look at procurement. In one of those slides you shared to us, it is in the scheme of the service I have, I got no business with procurement. So what I want to ask, and also want to tell the our ESCOs at the Lagos State Public Sector chapter, is that we need to raise a high-powered communique to speak to those at the end of affairs that this is the new in thing now. These are the things we need to do. How do we really to begin to look at them? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Those are the questions. But before I hand over the microphone to you, we have online a participant raising its hand. Can we, technicals, can we allow that virtual participant to ask his question? And that is Mr. Tijani Maruf, FCA. Okay. Hello, Mr. Tijani Maruf. You have the floor for your question, sir. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if my guys are still there, the Accountant General and the other PSCs that are there. Like you said, my name is Tijani Maruf, membership number 10414, and also the chairman, Ican-Lspsc District. It is my pleasure to be here. And I also want to say well done to the chairman of this district, of this chapter, and other ESCO for organizing this technical session. Mine is just a comment, not a question in particular. So the professor, well done for a paper well delivered. So sustainability is, very important right now. Like we're told, sustainability is a destination, and EGS definitely is a vehicle to get to where we're going. So in Lagos State, I just want to chip in a point that, what the Lagos State government is trying to do now. On Tuesday, there was a public hearing on a bill for a law to establish Lagos State Wealth Fund to create, manage, and invest in a diversified portfolio of medium and long-term assets for the benefit of Lagos State and future generations of its indigenes and residents, and for connected matters. So this is a way of the Lagos State government looking at sustainability and looking out for the interests of future generation and also the current generation. This is very key. And as accountants, we have a very important role to play. And that is why we're also invited to come and participate in the public hearing. And I can say that I was very proud of the position of ICANN, because ICANN also sent a delegate, a representative for the public hearing. And so issues were also raised concerning the bill. And so it's also very important for us to be aware of this bill that the public hearing has been, done, but definitely the bill will also go back and also experience some adjustments. But definitely we should all look out for the bill so that we know what the bill is talking about. So it's all about all around sustainability as far as Lagos State government is concerned. We know there's still a lot to be done, but at least we start from somewhere, and that's a very big step in the right direction. Thank you very much. That's my comment. Thank you.
All right, your comment is noted, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Again, we still have another member online, Mr. Adekombi Adewale. You have the floor now, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Adekombi Adewale, membership number 48583. Talking about sustainability in accounting, as a chartered accountant who is charged with the responsibility of accounting record, analysis, interpretation, at At times, you give advice on various financial implications of but they see it as incompetence. As an accountant, what can you do in the face of all this? Because at times when you give your suggestion on a particular issue, the implication of it to the politicians, at times they look at it, oh, what is he saying? Simply because they don't understand and they don't see it the way you are seeing it from the perspective of an accountant. As an accountant, I'm directing this to our professor. What can you do?
All right, thank you. And of course, Professor, we answer your question. Prof, please, you let me quickly take this. I still have another two. Please, your people love you so dearly, and they want to ask, they want to tap from your wealth of experience. And I have Okinwale. Okay, this one is just a comment. Great work and wonderful presentation by the Prof. Abata. May God continue to bless you. And another one, Tola Ekemode. Thank you for wonderful, okay, presentation. And another beautiful one from Olaniyo. I guess this is one of our past chairmen here. Olaniyo George, okay. It says, thank you for your analysis, sir. What will you advise a deputy director of finance and accounts retiring after serving for 35 years and total retirement benefit is well below 4 million to avoid compromise with the politician? I think something needs to be done to assess these issues since we all goes to the same market. It's a bit challenging not to dance to the tunes of the politician. He wants to know what he could do after retiring. All right, so at this junction, we have to leave the floor for Professor to do justice to some of those questions that we have raised. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, at least with all these questions. It tells me that you listened. Yes. Now, the first one from the chairman, she asked us about the modality for conversion of all these indicators. Are they going to just be like notes to the account or there, or they are just going to be converted to financial figures? The truth is that there are different modalities to convert all those things to financial figures. And once it is adopted, those modalities will come into practice. Because, for instance, in the environmental side, we have environmental accounting that considered the environmental costs and impacts. They look at physical units, what happens to gallon of water used, and state all those things in monetary terms. It's all because we have not started applying them. Once it is adopted, then people will equally be trained on looking at them, and they will now be an integral part of the financial figure disclosures in there is carbon accounting. Yes, the impact of the carbon that is being emitted, there are people who are trained to give value to all those things, because as they are going, they equally impact on our lives. And then value has to be placed on all those things and be incorporated into the financial statements of all those companies that are involved. Then there is this cost-benefit analysis that is brought in, that they are using it. Then there is energy analysis, that is energy-money ratio, market-based mechanisms that are being used. They have different valuation techniques. And it's because we are not yet there. Once we move in there now, the government will definitely send people out for training. Or in other words, they bring them down to us to come and train us here. When we want to look at flooding, damage being done, there are people who we need to go out and place cost on all these damages. And what were those things that led to them? They will get costs. They will, and we have people who studied and who give views and place values on green financing. Then there are people who place values on risks that are involved on whatever steps that we take. And when somebody just asked about the retired director that is earning 4 million, the government has already created a problem for, not for that financial director, for the nation. With the money that you are paying the man, because that money will impact on his own family. That money, now, when they are talking about sustainability, equally talks about pension and how much you are paying them. It's there. It's an integral part of it. So if you are paying them an amount, or pay anyone an amount that is below what is ought to earn, or what can averagely take care of him, you are promoting dishonesty. Hello? That's natural. You are promoting dishonesty. So the right thing is that things will be put in proper perspectives for sustainability to work in any environment. Yes, for sustainability to work in any environment. And at that level, government will obviously come out to shoulder their own normal responsibilities. It will not be everything that will be left to the individuals to take care of. Now, as there is a question on public borrowing sustainability, that the states are checkmated and the federal kept on borrowing. This question aligns with, we as public accountants, we have codes of conduct, we have rules and regulations, and all these executives are ahead of us. The issue is a systemic issue. And that system is the question of accountability. And that's why when I started, I said this issue of sustainability, it is all encompassing. The engineers are involved, the medical doctors are involved. All of us are involved. It is because we are cooperating with those that are stealing. And when they steal, we still worship them outside. That's why they keep on stealing. I am told that, I think in Saudi Arabia, when you do anything contrary to ethics, they hang the person openly. And everybody will see that this is what we have done that ought not to be done. So we have issue with the question of enforcement. So those are the areas that we cannot at our level handle. But if there is persistence on our position on corruption, on waste, people will adjust. That is, the executives, they will adjust. It might take time, but I am telling you, Nigeria does not want to stay back. Yes, Nigeria does not want to stay back. We equally want to move forward. When IFRS came, they said the country will not take it. The nation adopted. Lagos State started. And I can tell you categorically, when you start, IPSA, sorry, when you started, some of your local governments, they were not forthcoming. It was when they stopped the allocation that they aligned. Am I right? So the government said, we have adopted these things. And some in their local government, they were still flexing Moses. But when they brought out the dagger, they adjusted. So some of all these things, we checks and balances is what will help us out. Now, those that are working under some executives who are not ready to listen, it is natural. No man, an average black man, does not want to be checkmated. He doesn't believe in check and balances. He looks at you as, who are you? It is that man that stood before Wike 2 days ago. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? And Yerima, whether Wike like it or not, that man, small boy, has sent sense into his brain. That guy has communicated. Yeah, he didn't struggle with him, but he stood his ground. Wike has gone home. People are saying Wike is okay, he's an executive, but the guy showed him. Yes. The same thing must be our position in our respective offices. In the place where I work, we are all under our vice chancellors. Hello? That's the truth, oh. But at sometimes when he is moving in another way, and you tell him or you tell her, ma, this is not the way, oh. One of our vice chancellors came. The junior workers, we call them NASU. They said he should just calm down. That was a man that has really worked in the school. He changed so many things. They said, please calm down. Come and explain to us why they are not giving us our money in Alausa. And he just came at the balcony and look at them downstairs. Said, what are they saying? They said, sir, come down and explain to us. The man walked back. The governor was behind him. He was so sure of himself. And they now climbed the staircase and locked his door. They opened the door to remove the key, then lock him inside. It was the deputy commissioner of police that came from Festac to come and beg them to open the door for him. The issue is that we are not calling our leaders to accountability. That's why I said it's not only your job. You have your role to play, but you cannot play it alone. Yes. Look at what we are having in some buildings in Nigeria, in Lagos. In some of all these buildings that are collapsing, engineers went there. Yes. But because they gave them what they wanted, they looked away. And what we are pleading with you in your own field is, please don't look away. When you need to make your own advice, give it. When you need to collaborate, collaborate. Let them know that this is the in thing and you must pay attention. Medical doctors have their role in playing in sustainability. Teachers, they have their own to play in sustainability. It's all of us that have our roles to play. Now, somebody said they have high level of mistrust in the system. It's been there for long. It's going to take time for us to convince the public that we are really doing the work. But those that are projecting the work, carrying out the work, they are the legislators and the executives. You are under, contributing your own quota. But when we come to that level, there was a man, a senator. He came home in my town, and he wanted to talk at an event. And you said, hey, Lisorosa, drop that mic. Hello, drop that mic. That was the time Oshibajo visited, and the guy came there. They said, we are listening to Oshibajo. We are not listening to you. And they called Oshibajo, listening to us. This man has not been useful since he left us here. And they told us that he's collecting above 20 million every month. We don't have, in fact, he doesn't come regularly. He opened an office there, and he has not been coming. When he was not ready to listen, they looked for good cane. They gave him openly. Yes. Hello? They gave him openly. I am not saying we should go and fight, but the truth is that if we stand our ground, people will fight. Yes. We are talking about our lives and our future. Yes. It is the accountability side that is the issue. We do it. There are some lecturers, when they teach, and they will tell students, I don't believe any one of you can have 70. There's a way of hearing. And we are now asking, if they cannot have 70, then you have not delivered anything. No. Yes. So it is like you disgracing yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. That you taught students that are 200, 300, and you are saying nobody can have 70. You must be mad. Sorry to say. Something is wrong with you. So if they write something that is up to 80, you end up really telling them, you mark them down. Yes. People are already standing. People are rising. Yes. So the students are there to call us to accountability. If you fumble, they will tell you. Yes. Today, they will tell you. As workers will tell VC. So students will tell lecturers. It's because they are rising. Sometimes when we came, lecturers will have 1,000 students offering faculty courses. They will say everybody must buy book. Professor Hussein came there and said, those your books, take it to the bookshop there. Let them go there and buy. So, and when people were still, they were still selling, he started sending them out. Everybody adjusted. Before, when you write examination, you will see your result next year. The man came and told us 3 weeks, the results must be there. Those that were not ready, all those professors, you stop their salaries. So once you are through, come and show me the result, then I will minute on it to the bursar to release your money. The following semester, everybody submitted before 3 weeks. Everybody, including DVCs, who could have told us that it's possible. It's because when we start taking measures on the implementation, so that's the way it is. But like I mentioned earlier, that the governor that does not listen to us, the commissioner that does not listen, should remember that Daliye went to prison. Hello, governors, yes. So at the end of the day, let them see that you are not the one prosecuting them, but if need be, they call you to be witnesses. You will gladly go to court to tell them what happened to the account and the role that you played. That is the way it is. You don't have the right to hold or insult your boss. But the truth is that you have the right to discharge your responsibilities to the leader. So he can choose to listen to you or to look away. But the truth is that at the end of the day, then regular audits, external people coming in to look at our papers, they are equally important because they are the one reinforcing your positions on issues. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, in last year, if you see our offices at a time before 2005, you see some offices of professors. They are like kitchen. Yes, they look like kitchen. Governor Tinubu then called the Professor Hussein and told him to do 2 things. Number 1, work on the consistent strikes that they are having there. Number 2, let these children pay school fees. You know what they were paying before? Some of them are here, 150 naira. And some of them will not pay the 150. They will go and bribe those that are in admin. They will release their results. That means 150 times 4, that's 600, they won't pay. Once they give those 200, they will go into the archive, remove their result and give them. But when Professor Hussein got there, the student protested. They locked the gate. And the man said, lecturers, go home. I will pay your salary. These children, they must pay school fees. We were at home for good 4 months. They were paying our salaries. The students started begging. Their parents started begging. The man said, before we open that gate that you close, you lock by yourself. These are the banks where you will go and pay your school fees. Everybody paid neatly. So it's a question of determination and will on those that are in authority. But many of them, we have to be persistent. That's the way it is. Now, procurement, one of us asked about procurement, and that they don't involve you. You are not in. They don't call you, so they will have awarded. I think the Procurement Act of 2008 said there must be a board, and they must pass through them. We are not ignorant of what they do in the board. When they go there and you have a member, he will have told you the price or the prices that others quoted. You just need to reduce your own by 2,000, 20,000 or whatever so that I can fight for you. This one talks about we having understanding of what impact the usage of those items will have on the people and the environment. Now, your level might not be there. That means you might not be qualified to be in the board. But the Auditor General, the Accountant General, or those of them that are assisting them, they cannot say none of you be qualified. It's not as if every one of you should be at the board. But there will be somebody who is a public sector accountant that's going to be at the board. It is that person that we are begging to represent the view of all the public sector accountants. So that is it. All of us cannot, because if your level is not up to that, they will not call you. By governmental structure, that is governance. You are not supposed to be there. But whosoever is representing you has to do his work. Then one of us said, I spoke about the building that they are having in Canada, and that what do we need those ones for now, when we have not gotten enough for the present generation. That we should concentrate on if we don't plan for your children, you do not have hope in life. Hello? Yes, so in the military, when you lead a platoon, you are not a success until the person that takes over from you is successful. Am I communicating? So, if our children are not successful, where I came from, your pride in life is the success of your children. The moment your children are successful, the respect for you in the society will change. Yes. When you just see that your children are successful, everybody will adjust. Even the way they talk to you, we adjust. So, sir, it is true we don't have enough. But look at it. Even when you don't have enough for yourself, you equally plan for your children. And if you are grandmothers and grandfathers here, there are so many days you don't have enough to eat. But if you see your grandchildren, they will eat too. Who asked you to give them? It's your determination to see a better tomorrow. Because you are already conscious that when you are gone, these are the people that will be here for you. These are the people they will call. These are the people that will remember you. So, sir, it is true that we are not having enough. But the much that we have, we need to manage those resources. That is what sustainable public finance talks about. We waste so much. And that's the truth. We waste so much. We need to adjust on those wastages. It's impacting negatively on us, on our future. So, sir, those buildings, if we have them in Nigeria, they will take it. Our children will use them. But let me tell you, the houses that our parents built, many of us are not there. Why? It's not as if they are not good houses, but even the structure, they are outdated, they are colonial, archaic. That's why we don't want to live there. And if we want to live there, we have to, we will crack them and readjust them. So that's the way it is. So we don't give up. Align with their programs, align with the programs of the government. We are expected to align with the programs of the government of the day. But at times when we have privilege and we know the danger, the consequences of some of their actions, we need to let them know the end of all these things. Then somebody mentioned that students of LASU, that anytime exam is approaching, that they always demand for specific money from them. It's not the university that demands some money from them. We were students before. And we know the way we did it to our parents. It's karma that you are seeing, the way you dealt with daddy, grandpa, that's what their children are doing. So, sir, it's you, it's God that is supporting them to come and... So that is it. It's natural. That is it. And some of them, we have to do them with joy, with excitement. Yes, you know your children are coming, they are asking for some money, they need money. Because the one you are giving, you have calculated everything because they are accountant. They have really work up. You use this one to buy shoe, use this one to buy shirt. You are too stingy. And they have pleaded, you are not listening. Yes. Some of them, they are very manipulative. Yes. So they know that if they ask you for money, the person you are going to call, they will have gone to beg that person. Please help me tell daddy. If daddy calls to tell him that they need this money. So you are going to call 4 other friends. They will tell you the same thing. It's not as if they are requesting for that in the school. The way you did it to grandpa, that's what they are doing back to you. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think
Just to appreciate the prof, I said he was going to profess, but he has not, he didn't disappoint at all. Prof. So, Prof, on behalf of the president, we give you an FCA. A friend, friend of chartered accountants, yes. But Prof can also make that, he can get the real FCA with the way he has spoken. Prof has only 3 papers to write. Prof, you can do that. You can do that. Yes. Yes. It's just, all you require is just a willingness. You just get this. So Prof has done so well. And my professional colleagues have taken a lot of mental notes. It's good we keep on going out. Like I said, if you're a native doctor, you don't find out what's happening in the next village. All you do will concentrate on this village. You wouldn't know what they get to there. If you get to the next village, the witches will deal with you. But if you have asked people what they do, you will fortify yourself. We have spent time to come here. Some people have spent money, their fuel and others. But some people say, why should I go out? I can't even waste my data, whatever. There's no free lunch, even in Freetown. Freetown is one of the most expensive African cities I've been to. It's very expensive. Anything you want to do, you must spend time or money. Even love. There's no romance without finance. Of course. The ladies will tell you, say no romance without finance. Anything you want to do, you must be able to spend something. Either time or something must go out. So, Prof, thank you very much for exposing us. Hello, one house, please. Prof has exposed us certain things we don't know. He has told us even about ethics and others. Some people, my very good friend wearing white. It's an external auditor, okay. So is so many things Prof has spoken. So the man now, as he is, can tell you he too has learned. He's not exposed, but you can say he's wearing a cloth. No, you can wear a suit and you're exposed. You can also wear a miniskirt and you are not exposed. Somebody asking how. So a young girl attended an interview. She had HND, upper credit. So, but she just left school after her youth service. Her foster mother in the church invited her for that interview. She did very, very well in the theoretical aspect, but she had no experience. You can't buy experience in Ido or Yimbo markets. So she didn't do well in the practical aspect. So they said they will step down her application and keep it in view. So when she went to the woman to ask her, the woman said, my daughter, you have done so well. If there's any other opportunity, I will invite you. They say you are not exposed yet. He said, excuse me, ma, I'm just 21 years of age, wearing a miniskirt. How else can I be more exposed? Prof, you are welcome. You have exposed us. Thank you.
all right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together again for Chief Davidson Alaribe, FCA, representing the ICANN president here today. Thank you so much. And of course, I have a question for you, sir. You are the president of the microphone handlers in ICANN. And I have this question for you. Use this opportunity of me handling the microphone to ask this question, sir. I begin to wonder when you anchor a program like this or in other events, and at the end, getting closer to the end of the program, you still see your assistant scribbling paper to you. You need to recognize this person. You need to recognize this person. My question, sir, what do you think? I have to do that. Thank you, sir. You've heard from the horse's mouth, and ladies and gentlemen, I need to recognize Mr. Adebi, Director of Accounts, Ministry of Health. Put your hands together for him. And also have in the house Mrs. Adekonkun, Director of Accounts, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Justice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We love you. And on this note, this is evening, sir. At the evening mass, Reverend Father must not talk too much. Yes, that was morning mass. This is evening mass. And ladies and gentlemen, like the chief said, I think we have all enjoyed ourselves. And today we need to, now we need to begin to round up this program. As I want to invite to the podium the Vice Chairman of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Lagos State Public Service Chapter, to indeed do this vote of thanks. Put your hands together for him, Mr. Jimo Omoni, FCA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. The ICANN president, Malam Haruna Imayaya, FCA, ably represented by the past president of the institute, our own chief storyteller, DCS Alaribe, FCA. Thank you for your time, sir. Our permanent secretary, Accountant General, Lagos State, Dr. Abiodun Muritala, FCA. PS Finance, Mr. Tajuddin Mahmood, FCA. PS Office of Internal Audit, Mrs. Titilope Alaka, FCA. Our erudite professor, my lecturer, my teacher, Professor Matthew Abata, FCA, according to the past president. The Director of Finance and Accounts, Directors of Audit, Council Treasurer, the past chairman of this chapter, my professional colleagues. Once again, good afternoon. It is indeed a great honor to stand before you this afternoon to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Lagos State Public Service Chapter of our noble Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Today's technical session themed the future of accounting profession with the focus on what every public service accountant must know about sustainability accounting has been enlightening and thought-provoking. We express our profound appreciation to Almighty God for the success of today's lecture, for granting us the gift of life, knowledge, and opportunity to come together to share ideas that will shape the future of our profession. Our sincere appreciation goes to the Accountant General Permanent Secretary for what he has been to this chapter. We say thank you, sir. We thank our able chairman, Mrs. Suara Deborah Oluwatoyin, FCA, for our dynamic leadership and guidance. Your commitment to professional excellence within the public service is inspiring. We are deeply grateful to our distinguished guest speaker, Professor Matthew Abata, for an excellent and well-delivered presentation. Sir, your deep insight of sustainability accounting have opened our minds to emerging realities and the need for accountants in the public sector to adapt, innovate, and lead in promoting transparency and accountability for sustainable development. To all our special guests, the body of permanent secretary, and members who are joining us physically and virtually, we sincerely appreciate your presence, participation, and contribution. Your engagement is what makes sessions like this impactful and worthwhile. A heartfelt thank you also goes to the planning committee for your dedication and hard work in putting together such a well-organized and successful event. Finally, to our dear state, the government of Lagos State, Nigeria, to our mother body, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and to the leadership of this chapter. We commend your continuous effort in advancing professional knowledge and capacity development among public service accountants. Thank you all for being part of this important section. Let us take the knowledge we have gained today and apply it to make a difference in our respective offices and in the service of our dear state and nation. May God bless Lagos State. May God bless Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. May God bless Lagos State Public Chapter. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. That was the Vice Chairman of Noble Chapter, Mr. Omoni, FCA, with the vote of thanks. And at this point, it's almost time for our prayers. So quickly, let's invite the Chairman of the Technical Committee, Mrs. Okusonya Aino, Oluwakemi, FCA, to give the closing prayer while the secretariat, the technicals, get ready for the closing formalities.
Okay, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, Ancient of Days, we appreciate you for this technical session. We made the date and you made it a reality. We thank you, Father, for all the deliberation. That the grace to implement it, God, will grant unto us in Jesus' name. And as we are going back to our office, you go ahead of us in Jesus' name. At the end of it all, let's be able to appreciate you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you so much. And at this point, can we be upstanding as we take the closing formalities? We have the Icon anthem first, and followed by the national anthem. Icon anthem.
Standing stronger in harmony, building a land together. Dreams of the founding fathers, we are striving to attain our roads and values that we share. Through all ages be sustained. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Noble Icon, your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland.
Thank you so much. See you at the next technical session. Okay, before we leave, please just hold on for group photographs while we invite the ICANN president to step down with the One house, please, with the chairman of the chapter, the vice chairman, and of course, our dear professor. Please come down, step down a little to take the group photographs. Members, please, members that are here physically, please wait. After this one, we all join them to take these group photographs. Thank you.